So, for the ingredients of your lasagna, for the Bolognese sauce, you will need 2 rashers of good quality smoked streaky bacon. You will need 2 medium-sized onions, also 2 cloves of garlic. Remember that these are the cloves and this is a bulb of garlic. So you don't want a whole bulb, you just want 2 cloves. You will also need 2 carrots. I've just put a few more in there because I just like to add more carrots. 2 sticks of celery and also some olive oil and 2 heaped teaspoons of dried oregano, that lovely herb there. And you will also need 500 grams of lean minced beef, 2 tins of chopped tomatoes, salt and pepper, and a small bunch of basil leaves. So that's for the bolognese. For the lasagna itself, you need 250 grams of dried lasagna sheets and 1 large ripe tomato. I'm choosing to use gluten-free pasta. Obviously they are for gluten-free, people who have gluten intolerance, or maybe someone with celiac. Over here we've got the ingredients for the white sauce. So you need half a small onion, 500 millilitres of semi-skimmed milk, a sprig of fresh parsley. Now I don't have any fresh parsley, so I'm just going to use some dried parsley, pinch of nutmeg, and 6 black peppercorns, 1 bay leaf, 350 grams of butter, which is basically a good knob of butter, 450 grams of plain flour. Roughly speaking, that's about 2 good heaped tablespoons of flour, and 70 grams of Parmesan cheese. You can use cheaper types of hard cheese. Parmesan cheese, so can be a little bit on the pricey side, so it's up to you, obviously, in your budget, but you can get good quality hard cheese. And obviously, if you are a vegetarian, you'd use a vegetarian type of hard cheese. The same with the meats, you can add corn rather than the beef, and obviously not have the streaky bacon. And that's it. So now we'll get on to the preparation. Hi, welcome to another St. Luke's food channel. So today I thought it'd be nice if we made a lasagna. I will have the recipe on the website for you. So firstly, we need to slice your bacon. Now I find bacon it's quite tricky to handle and slice. So sometimes I like to use scissors. So these are proper kitchen scissors. And firstly, that can be just torn in half. Comes apart very easily. This is streaky bacon. And then what we can do is just cut the bacon like that with my kitchen scissors, and just let it sort of hang and then fall into the blades of the scissors, keeping my fingers obviously out of the way, and just cut your bacon like so. Okay, so after we have prepared all of our ingredients, we're going to put a good sort of lug of oil in my pan, and to that, we're going to put that on good heat, nice high heat, and then we're going to put our bacon in that we've sliced up earlier. And I'm going to make sure obviously that I don't put anything else on that plate because I had my raw meat on that plate. And we're going to cook the bacon until it is nice and golden brown. And you'll need 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. I generally like to do it over the pan, so if anything falls anywhere, it's going to fall in the pan anyway. So we're not going to waste anything. And it also saves me from trying to get it from like here and dropping food across my counter. Just saves waste really. So I've got 2 teaspoons of dried oregano in there. We're just going to give that a little bit of a stir around, like so. You can hear it sizzling away, smelling the lovely herbs. And so we're just going to cook that till it's golden brown. So now our bacon is nice and golden. I'm going to turn down the heat, so sort of medium heat, so just reduce the heat slightly. We're going to add all your lovely chopped vegetables, which you prepared earlier. So that's your onions, your garlic, your celery and your carrots. All that goes in. And you're just going to gently cook this for about 15 minutes, 15 minutes, until it's all nice and soft. Okay, so we have softened down our vegetables in our saucepan, or in our frying pan. I had to change frying pans because I forgot we need to put a lid on later, so I had to change it to a frying pan that fits a lid. So now we're going to put your minced beef in, so in that goes. And there we go, that lovely minced beef goes. Mix that around. And also to this, we need to put your 2 cans of chopped tomatoes in. So I'll show you how to put your open up your can. So here's your can. You're going to put your can open on the side. Obviously, each can open is different, but hold it tight here. So this left hand, for me, is holding my can tight, and then my right hand is just moving the little thing on the side around, and there, it's all done. Now the lid is very, very sharp, so what I do is use a fork just to get that up so I'm not trying to get my fingers in there, and then I can take off the lid like that. And then obviously I can give that a rinse in the sink and then put it in the recycling. So we're going to put our 2 cans of tomato in. 1, 2, and 1. With one of the cans, you're going to put some water in that. 1 can of water in there for the sauce. We're going to put our chopped basil stalks in there. Give that a little stir around, and then we're going to let it cook for about an hour. And so it all just cooks through beautifully, makes everything really soft, fuses all those flavours. We just need to put a little bit of salt and pepper in before we leave it to cook. So put up that heat. So we're going to leave it to boil in a minute. So I'm going to put, because I like mine quite peppery, so I'm going to put a good amount of lovely pepper in there. And some salt. In it goes. And I'm going to give that a stir around, like so. And then once it's boiling, once I can see some bubbles coming up and it's steaming, I'm then going to reduce the heat and put a lid on and let it cook for about an hour. See you later. Now we're going to cook the pastry sheets, the lasagna sheets. We've got some boiling water in a pan with some salt in there, and I'll put a little bit of oil. The oil helps to prevent the pastry sheets them sticking to each other. So we're going to do these in batches, so I'm just going to put a few in. And then we're only going to cook them for about 4 minutes each. Because we're going to soften them slightly. They will continue to cook in the oven when they bake in the lasagna later. So 4 minutes have passed. I'm going to carefully transfer my saucepan to the side. You can try and take your pasta out however way you like. So just put it in here. I'm going to save the water because I'm going to do some more sheets in a sec. There we go, they're all in there. And then you are going to dry out your pasta sheets on your kitchen paper. If it is a bit too hot to handle, obviously you can use tongs if you're more comfortable using tongs. That's absolutely fine. Come here, that's it. And just keep doing that until all your pasta's done and you've done all of your batches. The dish has been cooking for about an hour. I'm just going to give it another little stir around. Taking the lid off. We're going to keep the lid off for another 30 minutes. If your dish looks like it is going to dry out at all, you can put a little splash of water in there. Whilst that's cooking for another 30 minutes, in here is our melted butter. You see all that butter is nicely melted. And we're going to put our flour in. So roughly there's about 2 tablespoons of flour, just plain flour in there. And you're going to make a paste. And bit by bit you're going to add your milk and then make a white sauce. So here we go, that's the milk with all their lovely flavours. Just going to add a bit so I can give that a stir in. Most of the milk in there, just putting the last little bits in. Stirring that through. And then that is our flavoured white sauce. So our bolognese sauce is done. We'll just have a little taster, see what it's like. Yeah, it's nice. Just have a little bit more black pepper. Here we go, because I like my black pepper. And I think that would be lovely. So now we're going to layer up our nice oven dish for the lasagna. Now we're going to layer up our lasagna. So we're going to put roughly 1/3 of your bolognese sauce in your oven-proof dish, like that. And then we're going to put some lasagna sheets on top of that. So these are the lasagna sheets which you cooked earlier. Dried, there we go. And then we're going to put another layer of bolognese on. Over that goes. And then we are going to put 1/3 of your white sauce on. So we're just going to roughly 1/3 of the white sauce on. Lovely jubbly. And then we're going to put another layer of your lasagna sheets. And then another layer of your Bolognese sauce. All goes in there. In it goes. And then we've got another layer of your white sauce goes in again. And then one more layer of your lasagna sheets. Then the last little bit of your white sauce goes in. I can just get the last little dribbles in there. And then on top of this white sauce, you're going to have your little sprinkle of your Parmesan cheese or whatever type of hard cheese which you have chosen. So there we go. And that is on. So we're going to have your lovely Parmesan cheese, and that's going to melt on top while it's in the oven. Sprinkle on top. This will give a really rich, gorgeous flavour. Obviously, if you don't have any Parmesan, it's not a problem, or you might not like it. You can just use regular cheddar cheese. That's absolutely lovely. And then on top of this, you're going to put a little bit of chopped tomato and a few basil leaves. And that's, you are then going to cover it with some baking foil, and you're going to put that in the oven for about half an hour, and then I will show you what you will do. I will see you soon. I've covered the lasagna and I've put it onto a baking tray because it's a lot easier to handle a whole big baking tray than the oven dish. And two hands, I've got my oven gloves on to be safe. Push that in, close my oven door. Temperature is 190, and we're going to cook that for 30 minutes. It's been in the oven for half an hour, so I'm going to take it out again. So I'm going to have my oven gloves on, hold the tray firmly, take it over to a safe place, close the oven door. Be careful as you take the foil off, in case it's very, very hot and steamy. Then we're just going to pop that back in the oven for another 20 minutes. So our lasagna is ready. So carefully taking the lasagna out, putting it in a safe place, turning oven off. And now we can serve up your delicious lasagna. So I've chosen to serve my lasagna up with a little bit of green salad. It's gorgeous, it's oozy, it's full of wonderful, healthy ingredients for you, and I want you to enjoy it. Take care, bye.